Hi, this is Mato. Welcome to my online chess lecture. In this video I will show you a game between Bobby Fischer and Mikhail. This game was played in Bled in 1961. Bobby Fischer had white pieces and he started with e4. Mikhail played c5, the Sicilian defense. Knight to f3. At age 18 in 1961, Fischer had a rating of 2,730. Black to move. Tal played knight to c6, d4, c takes on d4, knight takes on d4, e6, knight to c3, queen to c7, g3, black to move. Knight to f6 was played. a6 is kind of a standard move and the most played move, preventing knight to b5. Knight to f6 by Tal. Knight from d to b5 attacking the queen, queen to b8. Bishop to f4 attacking the queen, threatening knight to c7 check. Black to move. Knight to e5. e5 is the most played move and then white usually plays bishop to g5. We have knight to e5, bishop to e2, bishop to c5. It is white to move and this is already a critical position. What would you do in this position if you had white pieces? Bobby Fischer played the best move. Bishop takes on e5. This move brings advantage to white. Queen takes on e5. f4. Queen goes back to b8. e5 attacking the knight and gaining the space on the board. Black to move. a6 was played. If knight goes, say, to g8, then knight to e4, and white is standing much better. Back to our game. a6, attacking the knight. Pawn takes knight on f6, a takes on b5, f takes on g7, attacking the rook, rook to g8. Knight to e4, bishop to e7, queen to d4, rook to a4, attacking the queen. What is the best square for the queen? Tal played knight to f6 check. Bishop takes knight, what else? Queen takes on f6. Queen to c7. How to defend the pawn? What would you do? Bobby Fischer castled queen side. Not afraid of rook takes on a2. King to b1 and now rook to a6. What if Tal played queen to a5? What would you do in this position if you had white pieces? Black is threatening rook to a1 checkmate. How to defend? This is what Bobby Fischer had in mind. b4. And after queen to a4, queen to c3, white is better. And if queen takes on b4, then king takes rook. Back to our game. Rook to a6. Bishop takes on b5. Rook to b6. Bishop to d3. e5. Discovered attack on the white queen. White to move. What is the best square for the queen? What would you do? There was a big surprise. Bobby Fischer didn't move his queen. He played f takes on e5, sacrificing the queen. That is an amazing move, isn't it? Rook takes on f6, pawn takes a rook. Black king is exposed. White is also threatening bishop takes on h7, attacking the defender of g8 square. Queen to c5, bishop takes on h7, queen to g5, bishop takes a rook, queen takes pawn on f6, rook from h to f1, queen takes on g7. Dangerous pawns are gone, but danger for black is not over. Bishop takes on f7 check, king to d8, bishop to e6, queen to h6, bishop takes on d7, bishop takes on d7, rook to f7. Many times in the past, Tal was in a bad position and managed to turn the tables, but this time he was facing the greatest player of all time. Queen takes pawn on h2 by Tal. Rook takes on d7. Rook from d takes on d7 check. White is better materially, and white king is safer than black king. King to e8. Rook from d to e7 check. King to d8. Rook to d7 check. King to c8. Rook to c7 check. King to d8. Rook from f to d7 check. King to e8. White to move. Rook takes on b7 was expected. Bobby Fischer played rook to d1, quite a deep move. You will see later the purpose of this move. b5. Rook to b7. Queen to h5. g4. Attacking the queen, sacrificing the pawn. Queen to h3. Why not queen takes on g4? Then rook to h1 is winning. This is what Fischer had in mind when he played rook to d1 earlier. Black is lost. White is threatening rook to h8 checkmate. If queen to d4, preventing rook to h8, it is not preventing, because then white still plays rook to h8 check, and after queen takes rook, rook to b8 check, and after king to f7, rook takes queen. Back to our game. We have queen to h3. g5. The pawn is marching. Queen to f3, forking both rooks. Rook to e1 check. King to f8. Rook takes on b5. King to g7. Rook to b6. Queen to g3, forking the rook and the pawn. Rook to d1. Queen to c7. What's wrong with queen takes pawn? If queen takes pawn on g3, then rook to d7 check, and after king to h8, rook to b8 check is winning. Back to our game. Queen to c7, rook from d to d6. Two rooks are much stronger than the queen, plus white has 3 extra pawns, but Tal is not giving up yet. Queen to c8, b3, king to h7. White played a move and black resigned, and the move is rook to a6. Tal resigned. One and the tying line goes like this. Queen to e8. Rook to a7 check. King to g8. Rook from d to d7. Queen to f8. King to b2. Queen to e8. Rook to g7 check. King to h8. Rook to h7 check. King to g8. Rook from a to e7, attacking the queen. Queen to b8. Rook from e to g7 check. King to f8. Rook to h8 check. King takes on g7. Rook takes queen. And I guess we can stop here. That was Fischer's first win against Tal. Mikhail Tal still came first in the tournament, and Bobby Fischer came second. The rumor says that there was a prophet in the playing hall who predicted that Fischer will become world champion and that nobody will beat him to take his title. I hope that Tal's fans will not be too disappointed with this game. For them, I will make another game. I will upload a video with a game in which Tal won. What do you think of this game? And that is all. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. I wish you good luck with your chess, and bye for now.